Welcome to Dark Psychology World Channel. I hope you like it. And don't forget to like and subscribe. Thank you. Now I will start reading this book to you, High Value Human, written and published by Ong. Ghastly, it can be difficult for human in today's world to realize their own worth and ability. One could easily become confused about the true meaning of what it means to be a valuable human in today's world, with contradictory messages appearing from every angle. This book fills that need. Through the course of this book's 14 sessions, you will acquire essential skills for boosting your self-esteem, developing charisma and confidence, and achieving personal development. Every chapter focuses on a single action item that, when continuously followed, will help you get closer to your goals. This book provides you with the tools to take charge of your life and personal growth, from learning how to wake up early to reprogramming your thinking and practicing self-improvement practices. Along with many other things, you'll discover how to recognize and get rid of limiting ideas, enhance your memory, and follow your hobbies. This is not a manual for controlling or gaming other people. Instead, it's a book on actually improving yourself by accepting full responsibility for your feelings, ideas, and deeds. You will develop into an integrated human who is more valuable to both yourself and everyone around you if you follow the lessons in this book to reach your full potential and develop into your best self. See 14 ways to become a high-value human will provide you the strategies and mindsets you need to succeed. You may create the life you want on your terms by adhering to the lessons in this book. Lesson 1. Wake up earlier than sun. One of the best ways to take charge of your mornings and develop into a high-value human is to rise before the sun. You're in the lead the moment your alarm goes off and it's still dark outside. You have precious time to devote to yourself. The world is silent and your mind is clear after a restful night. Make the most of the early morning hours by reading, working on a passion project, exercising, or engaging in meditation. Just this routine will set the tone for a purposeful, productive day. Early risers do more, establish healthier routines, and have a greater sense of control over their life. Put yourself to bed sooner if you have trouble waking up early. Set your alarm clock to wake you up from across the room, and never forget that you woke up before the sun with the intention of being the greatest version of yourself. The wee hours are your best friend when it comes to personal development. You'll be well on your way to being a highly valued man if you embrace them. There are many advantages to rising early, and it sets the stage for a successful and productive day. When you get up early, you may make the most of the peaceful morning hours when your mind is clear and sharp after a long night. This enables you to set aside time for self-care activities like reading, exercising, meditation, and personal growth. A head start on the day also helps early risers, since it enables them to approach priorities with composure rather than reacting hastily. They stay away from the commotion and diversions of the late morning. Research indicates that those who rise early tend to be less stressed, make better decisions, and sleep better than those who rise late. Additionally, they express more optimism and life happiness. Focus and mental clarity are unlocked when you rise with the sun and connect with your natural circadian cycle. If your goal is to become extremely productive, purposeful, and motivated by values, then take advantage of the early morning hours. The advantages will carry over into the remainder of the day. Getting up early is a behavior that many highly successful people credit with increasing their productivity and accomplishments. Tim Cook, the CEO of Apple, gets up at 3:45 a.m. to start working on emails. Virgin Group founder Richard Branson gets up at 5 in the morning to work out and spend time with his family before starting work. Bob Iger, the former CEO of Disney, would get up every day at 4:30 a.m. and use the peaceful time to gather his thoughts. Some notable early risers are Starbucks CEO Howard Schultz up at 4:30 a.m., Oprah Winfrey up at 5 a.m., and Ariana Huffington up at 4:05 a.m. It was even known that Benjamin Franklin and Albert Einstein woke up early to read, reflect, and get ready for their significant work. For these powerful people, rising before the sun proved to be essential to their success. As you strive to become a high-value person, you may accelerate your own growth and achievement by taking their lead in developing an early morning routine. The well-organized habits of these well-known early risers are the evidence. Lesson 2: Follow your passion. Eris was completely distracted from his task as he sat there gazing at his computer screen. He worked as a financial analyst for a big company, crunching figures, writing reports, and giving customers investing advice. Although highly compensated, the task was routine. Eris thought, this can't be it. Life must be more complex than this. Eris had been repressing his actual passion. Writing for years. Storytelling has always been a passion of his. He wrote stories of fiction in his notebooks and hoped to write books one day. However, he decided to pursue a safer profession in finance because of his practical necessities. Eris, at 30 years old, could not shake the growing sense that he was not living the life destined for him. He thought of the original stories that were running through his head and the sense of fulfillment that came from writing. Why am I wasting my gifts and passion in this job? He pondered. Aries decided that night to take a chance and aggressively pursue his dream of being a writer. He made a space for himself to write at home, resolved to get up an hour early every day, and declared that he would finish a book draft in a year if self-doubt appeared. He would remind himself of the happiness writing had given him, juggling his writing with the responsibilities of his employment and income wasn't simple, but Eris committed himself fully to his passion. Every day he finished multiple fiction manuscript drafts. Throughout time, he carried a printed copy of his first completed book, written a year after he made his decision. Ace's heart filled with thanks as he brushed his fingers over the cover. He understood then that the book was only the beginning of what could be achieved by staying loyal to oneself, realizing that the only way to find true fulfillment in life is to follow your passion. He was now resolved to make the most of his gifts. Being a high-value human means that one of your non-negotiables should be living in accordance with your true passion. Everything changes when you pursue activities that make you happy and make use of your natural abilities. Your energy rises, your sense of self-worth soars, and your days take on greater significance. But the majority give up on their goals because they are afraid of what lies ahead, or because of what society thinks. Recognize that being safe results in a peaceful existence of desperation. Show courage. Spend some time rediscovering your personal interests. Put an end to all outside distractions and resolve to take one step per day closer to realizing your passion. Don't compare your chapter 1 to someone else's chapter 20. Instead, be patient when facing obstacles. Grit is necessary while pursuing your passion, but the benefits are enormous. You'll reach the highest potential for inspiration, fulfillment, and motivation evolving into your finest. Self-honor your passions, they are there for a reason. Lesson 3: Become the best in your mind. The first step toward becoming the best version of yourself is mental. Your beliefs and way of thinking shape who you are and what you think you can do. You can maximize your abilities and discover your hidden potential by consciously working to change your thinking. Find out what limiting thoughts are preventing you from moving forward. These could be negative self-talk pattern or messages you were exposed to as a child. Jot down the main negative thoughts you have, such as "I can't succeed" or "I'm not smart enough." Next, refute each belief with a list of counter evidence. This starts to break the hold of the constrictive thinking. The first step toward becoming the best version of yourself is mental. Your beliefs and way of thinking shape who you are and what you think you can do. You can maximize your abilities and discover your hidden potential by consciously working to change your thinking. Find out what limiting thoughts are preventing you from moving forward. These could be negative self-talk pattern or messages you were exposed to as a child. Jot down the main negative thoughts you have, such as "I can't succeed" or "I'm not smart enough." Next, refute each belief with a list of counter evidence. This starts to break the hold of the constrictive thinking. Make development a lifetime time pursuit. Read more, learn more, and set new challenges for yourself. When the mind is given nourishing material, it grows. Define new goals to strive for. When you make a commitment to ongoing mental progress, the journey to become your best self never ends. You may overcome limiting ideas and develop an empowering attitude where everything seems attainable with regular practice until you reach the spacious mentality of your maximum potential self. Make tiny changes every day. Lesson 4: Reprogram your mindset. Developing a new perspective on life is one of the most crucial skills for becoming a high-value human. A person's conduct, attitude, and ultimately level of success in life are greatly influenced by their thoughts and self-beliefs. You will not make much progress if you are stuck in the belief that you are not naturally talented or capable. However, you may rewire your brain to think that you can improve your abilities and talents with effort and commitment. If you adopt a growth mindset, reversals will be seen as chances for improvement rather than indications of irreversible failure. If you have a growth mentality, you'll have greater drive to push yourself beyond your comfort zone, accept challenges, and persevere through setbacks in order to succeed, though it requires time and deliberate effort. Reprogramming your mentality is necessary to become the high-value person you aspire to be. You have to have an inner conversation about possibilities and self-improvement instead of one of limitation. An empowering mentality can be ingrained through reading positive literature, repeating affirmations, and envisioning desired results. Don't allow the programming of the past limit you. Instead, take charge and rewire your brain to create the prosperous and satisfying future you deserve. Reprogramming your thinking is necessary, but it takes patience, diligence, and consistency. Find out what self-limiting ideas you have about your skills or abilities first. These could be statements along the lines of "I can't do great things" or "I'm not smart enough." Next, deliberately use affirmations that are growth-oriented and powerful to refute those negative narratives. Every day, convince yourself that you are smart, capable, and able to grow and learn. Organize your positive affirmations and mantras into a diary. Post affirmations about your new way of thinking all over your house and office. Look for motivational books, workshops, and podcasts that support the values you wish to instill. Imagine yourself in the future confidently living and achieving your ambitions. Developing an empowering mentality can also be effectively achieved through self-talk and meditation. Your subconscious will eventually internalize this new programming with consistent practice. Have perseverance and patience. Although it requires intentional effort, shifting your thinking takes charge of your beliefs and increases your chances of success. Remind yourself daily that you have the ability to change the way you think until empowerment becomes your new normal. Keep reprogramming and refuse to accept thoughts that limit you. Lesson 5. Focus until you make it. Developing a laser-like focus is essential to being a high-value human. You must focus intently on your dreams and goals, ignoring doubts and distractions. Once you've made your decision, it is insufficient to merely tinker with personal development. You must devote all of your mental energy to progress. Get rid of the time wasters and pointless responsibilities that prevent you from pursuing your main goals. Even when life gets in the way or your progress looks slow, don't lose concentration. Drive and motivation will come and go, but your concentration needs to be steady. Make a decision about the result you want. Visualize it vividly in your mind and make a commitment to staying on task no matter what. Decide which one or two things to concentrate on and give them your whole attention, instead of dividing your time between other endeavors. When things get tough, don't give up. It takes tremendous mental fortitude and self-control to ignore doubters and temptations, but staying focused is what ultimately distinguishes the successful from the wishful. Your aspirations cannot and will not be disturbed. You will surely achieve your goals if you maintain unwavering focus on them above all else. The factors that prevent prolonged focus in our fast-paced, digitally distracted world are numerous. Instead of focusing intently and productively, attention is fragmented into small reactive parts by the constant barrage of emails, messages, notifications, and apps. It's common to multitask, but fragmented attention leads to mediocrity. Brain power is dispersed when output quantity is prioritized above quality. If left unchecked, negative thought patterns and emotional response can also undermine attention. Anxiety and tension divert focus into compulsive past and future thinking. Mental reserves necessary for focus are depleted by sleep deprivation, physical activity, and a healthy diet. Similar to physical muscles, concentration muscles can atrophy due to insufficient recuperation intervals. Furthermore, it is challenging to sustain optimal focus over time when there is a lack of clarity regarding objectives or a significant reason for tasks. Continuity is disrupted by cluttered, interrupted, and disruptive environments. Attention spans shorten in the absence of structure or plans for organizing tasks. Avoidance and procrastination squander valuable energy by opposing rather than focusing effort. These typical pitfalls all chip away at steady concentration, causing irritation and subpar outcomes. Reducing distractions, giving intense work top priority, establishing routines for significant activities, and attending to one's physical and mental well-being are the antidotes. Specify your goals and then divide them into doable, attainable steps. Allocate time for rest and introspection to recognize distracting tendencies and deliberately return attention to priorities. Practice mindfulness instead, then allowing Systems to control you learn how to use. Technology and tools to streamline. Processes establish limits with people. To safeguard areas of valuable. Concentration reframe focus as an essential component of significant. Productivity rather than a taxing task incorporate a playful aspect into meaningful labor. Keep in mind that daily presence is necessary for mastery. Periodic distractions are inevitable, but don't let that demotivate you. Simply keep calmly bringing your mission back into focus. Continue to believe that small steps forward add up. One may train the mind like a muscle, one day at a time. Resilient attention can be developed with caution and persistence. Lesson 6. Talk with positive attitude. Speaking with a good attitude at all times is a crucial aspect of becoming a high-value human. Your speech will always reflect your thinking, so practice framing situations in a positive light. Steer clear of gossip, whining, and negative thinking. If you hear yourself expressing criticism, pessimism, or limitation, pause and change the tone of your speech to something positive with instant substitute. I am learning how to do this with I can't do this, instead of dwelling on the mistakes you made. Try to find the lesson or bright side in every situation. Tell joke stories and exchange ideas that make others happy instead of destructive ones. Seek out uplifting content providers and inspiring speakers to surround yourself with, both in person and virtually. Declare your dreams out loud and celebrate your strengths, since doing so will help you make your ambitions come true. When people talk, pay attention to what they have to say and offer support. You may instantly teach your mind to see things through an empowering lens by speaking and conversing positively all the time. Giving motivational speeches makes you feel more confident and shows the world that you are a person living a passionate, purposeful life every day. Let your upbeat disposition to come through in your speech. Being a high-value human means having an optimistic outlook that not only empowers you but also has a great impact on people around you. Since humans are social animals, they are predisposed to sense other people's emotions. Being positive, self-assured, and cheerful comes from the heart. People you interact with benefit from your pleasant energy, which lifts their spirits and perspectives. By sharing your experiences of growth and resiliency, you encourage others to believe that they too can overcome obstacles. People are inspired to keep pursuing their aspirations by your encouragement. People feel comfortable sharing their vulnerabilities with you and supporting one another because of your kind disposition. Laughing together creates connection. Seeing difficult circumstances via a gracious lens demonstrates how to face hardship. Bringing others' spirits up makes you seem like a valuable mentor and friend. Your optimistic outlook inspires people and unites them in hope and motivation, whereas negativity promotes stagnation and alienation. Your presence starts to be connected to happiness and an appreciation of life's beauty. It might be impossible to add more value than to merely cultivate a positive outlook that uplifts your community. Having a positive outlook changes not only you but everyone who is lucky enough to be in your presence. Remaining optimistic can actually assist diffuse other people's anger, which is a wonderful effect. You can lessen the negative energy sent towards you by using positive and constructive language in response to upsetting circumstances or harsh criticism. Try expressing validation of the other person's emotions by saying, I understand why you feel upset about this, as opposed to retaliating in kind or becoming Defensive next recast the problem in terms of potential solutions and accept responsibility for any errors made. Tell us how you want to make things better or make things right. Calm communication devoid of criticism or irony can gradually steer contentious discussions toward a more constructive direction. Moreover, when humor is used appropriately, it can bring people together via laughter rather than conflict. It is more difficult for others to stay irate when your tone is thoughtful, upbeat, and resolution-focused. They start to adopt your positive strategy moving ahead, even though some people might try to get you to mirror their negativity. You should always answer with poise, empathy, and maturity. Your cool-headed optimism can serve as an emotional stabilizer, preventing tense situations from getting out of hand. Your peers will eventually view you as someone who brings out the best in them rather than the worst. Lesson 7. Write your value on paper. Any man looking to improve himself will find that writing down his basic beliefs is a powerful practice. Think first about the values and characteristics that are most important to you: integrity, motivation, empathy, bravery, self-control, inventiveness, leadership, thankfulness, curiosity, and more are a few examples. Write each of your top 5 to 10 values at the top of a page. Explain why each value is significant to you and how you already or could more fully represent it in your life. Under each heading, you might write about always being truthful and accepting responsibility for your faults. In the integrity category, for example, you might also write under compassion how you lend a sympathetic ear to friends who are in need. Your values become concrete rules when you put them in writing. Return to these pages for inspiration and guidance at any time. Make important life decisions based on your values, then adjust your goals accordingly when faced with a difficult decision. Refer to your stated beliefs to help you stay focused on what really matters as you develop and progress. Update the pages. Your values become practical and genuine when you put them in writing. Above all, make an effort to embody them every day. You'll become the admirable human you've always imagined yourself to be, using your principles as a compass to direct your personal growth as you work to become a high-value human. There are numerous advantages to taking the time to deliberately determine and record your core beliefs on paper. Your principles become concrete and enduring when you define them and put them in writing. When you're feeling lost or in need of guidance, having a tangible reference makes it easier for you to go back to your principles. Putting your beliefs in writing also helps you remember them, which enhances decision-making and helps you focus your activities on the things that are most important. You can go to your written values for direction when confronted with temptation or disagreement. Just looking over them once in a while will motivate you to pursue your best goals. Composing a list of your values promotes accountability and self-awareness. Become the best version of yourself. It encourages deep introspection about your identity, values, and future goals. You can set objectives and make decisions that are true to who you are. When your values are clear, putting them in writing gives you a place to fall back on if you ever feel that your morality is being compromised. You can hold yourself more responsible when your basic beliefs are documented. In general, taking the time to carefully state your values gives you the motivation to keep working toward writing down your priorities and core beliefs is incredibly effective for a few main reasons. It first crystallizes self-awareness and solidifies your Knowledge of what is most important to you. What is most important to you? What is true to you and what gives your life purpose? Thoughts that remain vague in your mind become specific words on paper that help direct your decisions and behavior. They become real when they are written. Second, having your values in writing gives you a valuable reference point in case you get lost or confused. When faced with doubts or difficulties, you can consult them again for clarification. They become your compass, helping you stay focused on your best self rather than impulsive whims. Thirdly, you can assess how you truly spend your time and energy when you write down your values to make sure your days are in line with your stated priorities. You can audit them. This highlights areas that won't work. Fourthly, textual values function as a decision-making criteria. When faced with choices, you can reference your list to select the option most compatible with your core. Tough choices have a context in mind. Finally, committing to your values in writing strengthens them. Once distilled into words, they become more potent and are no longer only idealistic concepts. They go beyond simple concepts to become real intents that you pledge to live up to. You are held responsible to your best self by written values as a daily reminder to live truthfully. Keep your list out in the open whenever you feel lost. Let it guide you. Knowing and expressing what drives you clearly gives you direction and purpose, which has a significant impact on how your life unfolds. Your written ideals serve as a guide for creating a meaningful existence. Lesson 8. Practice in the mirror, a useful but sometimes disregarded strategy for becoming a high value human is to practice charm and confidence in front of a mirror, even though it might seem absurd at first. Practicing your body language, facial expressions, and speech patterns in front of a mirror can greatly improve your confidence and social skills. Start by taking a good look at your posture. Is your head raised high and your shoulders back? Check your grin and facial expressions to see if you come across as personable and amiable. Observe your eye contact. Are you staring at yourself or are you averting your own eyes? Next, attempt to carry on a conversation as you would with a stranger. Talk authoritatively, clearly, and slowly. Keep an eye on your actions and gestures. Do they seem approachable and lively or tense and obtrusive? You may hone the ideal body language, manner, and conversational abilities of a captivating high value human by consistent practice and reflection in the mirror. Mirror practice not only improves your appearance but also fosters inner confidence and self-worth. You develop genuine social skills and rewire self-limiting ideas as you practice self-introduction, storytelling, and forceful speaking. To your reflection and empowered self-image is reinforced when you see yourself managing social settings with poise and competence, even if it's just in private practice for the time being. Any mild self-doubt that crosses your face can be caught, so you can rewrite your inner story to one of bravery and optimism. Fears and inhibition start to dissolve with regular mirror work as you see yourself behaving confidently and with grace. Your reflection begins to show the confident, valuable person you know. You can be practice body language and conversational skills in front of a mirror may initially appear like a pointless or selfish activity, but practicing in front of a mirror on a regular basis offers amazing advantages that can help you reach your greatest potential as a valuable person. Mirror work goes much beyond simply appreciating your appearance. It's an effective self-improvement tool. By practicing in front of the mirror, you may pay close attention to evaluate and Enhance your nonverbal communication. You can deliberately practice correcting your posture, gestures, facial expressions, and other physical aspects that affect how you appear to other people. Speaking out loud to oneself helps you become more confident in social settings. Any awkward gestures or nervous tics can be recognized, and you can intentionally replace them with approachable, friendly body language. This changes the way you manifest yourself in the physical world. Mirror practice also fortifies your mental landscape of ideas, convictions, and self-image. Your perception of yourself begins to incorporate your charm and confidence as you grow used to seeing such traits in your self-limiting beliefs and doubts fade. It is really effective to speak affirmations out loud while looking in the mirror and accepting who you truly are. This helps dissolve old training. Your identity is quickly shaped by the things you see in the mirror on a regular basis. In the end, doing mirror work consistently results in significant internal and external changes. The mentality and physical abilities needed to succeed with people become ingrained. You become charismatic, confident, and able to communicate effectively. Spending little time in front of a mirror so equips you to be your best self and reach your full potential as a human. You might never have envisioned the opportunities for personal development that the mirror reflects back. Lesson 9. Learn to have better memory. Any man looking to succeed and better himself will find that having a good memory is a great benefit. Having a strong memory helps you remember crucial facts, keep your mental sharpness intact as you become older, and retain critical information with focused workouts and approaches. Anyone can significantly improve their memory, even those who are born with naturally better recall. By prioritizing memory and investing time in memory training, you may reach the maximum potential of your mind. First, evaluate your strengths and shortcomings in remembering. Do you frequently forget things like names, dates, grocery lists, and your keys location? By determining where you have memory gaps, you can tailor your training to strengthen those particular regions. Try memorizing longer and longer word or number sequences to see how long your memory can hold. This creates a baseline so you can monitor your development. Next, strengthen your memory through repetition exercises such as learning entire speeches, poetry, or fascinating articles by heart. Your memory will get more and more practiced, which will improve your cognitive abilities. Simple memory exercises like remembering sequences or matching pairs of cards. Cards are also excellent everyday drills. A well-functioning memory depends on both exercise and enough sleep. While getting enough sleep enables memory consolidation, physical activity boosts blood flow to the brain. Keep a healthy, balanced diet rich in antioxidants and brain-boosting omega oils and low in sugar. Take time to unwind because stress can also affect memory. Utilize strategies to help you remember information, such as rhymes, acronyms, and visual associations. For instance, link the key points of a speech to memorable pictures or actions to help you memorize it. Information is easier to recall when it is broken up into smaller chunks. Learn new abilities on a regular basis and push yourself using brain training games and applications to keep your mind engaged. Apply memory tricks in your everyday life as well as in your committed practices that stick. Include chunking a lengthy to-list or saying names aloud when they are presented. Although memory training requires work and practice, anyone can see a discernible improvement recalling Facts will come naturally with time and practice, and excellent memory improves comprehension output and mental clarity. To fully utilize your mind, incorporate memory exercises into your regular regimen on par with physical activity. You should reduce or get rid of several habits and behaviors if you wish to improve your memory and mental health. Reduce the amount of time you spend doing mentally taxing things like scrolling through social media nonstop or binge watching shows for hours on end. Allow your mind to rest and recover. Often practices for relaxation such as yoga, deep breathing, and meditation might help you feel less stressed over time. Cortisol production and chronic stress might deteriorate memory. Steer clear of recreational substances that affect memory and cognition. Excessive alcohol consumption and smoking. Limit sugar-filled foods and beverages that might induce blood sugar spikes and crashes, which are bad for focus. And stay hydrated. There are some drugs that have the potential to negatively affect memory as a side effect. Make sure you get at least 7 to 10 hours of good sleep every night, because getting too little sleep severely impairs short-term memory. Lastly, resist the need to stay in your comfort zone over the course of a lifetime. Learning, interacting with others, and trying new things enhance memory and encourage neuroplasticity. Make decisions about your lifestyle that will uplift, shield, and engage your mind. Numerous advantages can be gained from having a strong, well-trained memory, including improved daily functioning, personal fulfillment, and professional success when recalling names, dates, facts, and complex information is necessary in the job and in educational settings. Having a sharper memory helps you function at a high level instead of depending solely on reference sources. You can access learned content whenever needed. A better memory increases productivity because you spend less time looking for lost objects or reviewing information that you forget. Recalling milestones like birthdays and anniversaries makes you more likable to friends and family on a personal level. Being able to recall a conversation demonstrates your concern and attention to detail. Additionally, having a strong memory makes it easier for you to pick up new languages more quickly. Advance your knowledge in a subject you are enthusiastic about and acquire new talents and pastimes. Maintaining mental acuity as you get older also helps you to maintain your independence and self-assurance. Simple memory activities like grocery lists and instructions become second nature to you in day-to-day living. You sense that you are in charge of your mind's talents. Ultimately, improving your memory broadens your range of possibilities and makes life easier. Realizing how much your mind can retain when educated correctly also fills you with a deep sense of happiness. Making a commitment to memory exercises has positive effects on many aspects of your life. Lesson 10. Do meditation daily. A regular daily meditation practice is incredibly helpful for any man who wants to improve himself and develop inner peace and knowledge. Just 10 to 15 minutes of meditation a day can make a big difference in terms of stress reduction, attention enhancement, and the development of healthy mental habits. The best time to meditate is first thing in the morning. Find a peaceful, quiet place where you may do it every day without interruption, with your eyes closed and back straight. Take a comfortable seat. Start by calming your body and mind with a few deep breaths. Focus entirely on the feelings associated with breathing. Thoughts will unavoidably come up. Accept them without passing judgment and gently bring your attention back to the breath. to help you focus on the practice without worrying about the time. Set a timer. Aim for a modest duration at first, such as 5 to 10 minutes, and as your focus increases over the course of weeks and months, progressively extended. When your thoughts stray, just gently bring them back to the breath's anchor instead of getting upset during meditation. Visualization exercises can also improve focus by triggering relaxation reactions and decreasing cortisol. Meditation lowers stress. It teaches your mind to remain composed and concentrated. In the face of chaos, you'll feel more resilient, centered, and composed in all facets of your life. With consistent practice, mindfulness improves awareness of the current moment. You start paying closer attention to other people, things, and your surroundings. Improvements in mental clarity and focus increase productivity and concentration, whether working or studying. Meditation helps you become more self-aware because it gives you insight into your own thought processes and behaviors, which promotes personal development. In terms of the body, meditation can help control anxiety and pain by lowering blood pressure. Developing a regular meditation practice promotes mental and spiritual health throughout a lifetime. The advantages build up and intensify. You may significantly alter your perspective and quality of life with just a few minutes of practice per day. Make it a daily ritual to meditate. There is no room for negotiation. Consistent daily meditation is vital for maintaining mental and physical health in our fast-paced, high-stress environment. It has been demonstrated that meditation triggers the body's relaxation response, which lowers blood pressure, reduces anxiety, clears the mind, and releases tension. The practice relaxes the nervous system and counteracts the toll chronic stress takes on the body over time when left unchecked. Developing a regular meditation practice has longer-lasting advantages than doing it occasionally. Your physiology is primed for reduced response to outside influences by even brief daily routines. Your brain is essentially rewired during meditation to promote increased focus, emotional intelligence, inner peace, self-awareness, and resilience. In the face of adversity, you develop more insight, mental clarity, and a connection to your own self and the highest truth. Through consistent practice, your relationships and decision-making will benefit from this. You are better able to control your emotions, refrain from impulsive decisions, and handle disagreement maturely. Regular meditation also cultivates compassion, appreciation, and a long-term outlook, essential components of contentment. It creates a calm haven inside you to help you get through the chaos and uncertainty outside. The more regularity you put into your practice, the easier it will be to find inner peace despite the stresses of daily life. Consider meditation as a daily source of nourishment for your soul, similar to how exercise, a good diet, and sleep replenish your physical body. Consider it neither a luxury nor a self-indulgent gesture to build up your mental toughness against high levels of stimulus and distraction. Deliberately de-stress and rejuvenate your mind on a daily basis. Set aside time for introspection. By doing this, you will gradually reap the rewards of increased presence, spiritual knowing, and embodiment of your best self. Establishing a regular daily meditation routine requires dedication amidst demanding schedules and an infinite list of obligations vying for your time and focus. Set up a specific period of day to meditate, just like you would any other important task. Make meditation a priority. Put it in your calendar and don't allow it to be changed. Consider it the cornerstone of self-care. That supports all other aspects rather. Then an optional bonus: start with quick sessions lasting only 5 to 10 minutes. And work your way up to make it easier to fit into your hectic days when, compared to not at all even a short meditation session, is incredibly helpful. Try out several approaches to see which speaks to you the most. Set triggers like meditating after your morning coffee or tea, making it part of your wake-up routine. Establish a sacred area solely for meditation, complete with rituals and a centered atmosphere. Reduce the amount of mess and disturbances in your surroundings. Take a comfortable, distraction-free seat. If necessary, create a cocoon-like immersion with soft music or noise-canceling headphones. Make a conscious decision to be totally present at the start of every session. If worries or planned ideas creep in, simply notice them and then redirect focus to your breath or mantra. Without judgment, allow your feelings to pass through without trying to make them go through mazes. To calm the racing thoughts, one must practice. Continue bringing it back to the present with patience. Honor modest victories. A minute of sincere presence is a step forward. If feelings of annoyance or perfection surface, keep in mind that the goal is to only focus on yourself for as long as you are able to. Right now, don't let the inevitable ups and downs in your practice demoralize you. Your ability to be present will naturally grow with time. Consider meditation to be the calm center within your hectic living. Before hurriedly starting your hectic day, ground yourself in inner serenity. Your ability to handle life's ups and downs will significantly improve if you consistently return to your seat. Give your soul first importance. If left unchecked, becoming enmeshed in negative thought patterns and emotional response can develop into habitual patterns. However, breaking free from these damaging cycles can be greatly aided by a regular daily meditation practice. Practicing meditation teaches your mind to remain grounded in the here and now. Prevent it from becoming consumed by regrets from the past or anxieties about the future that lead to negative emotional responses. It strengthens the mental capacity for detached observation. You can improve your capacity to recognize emotions without being entangled in inflated narratives or critical assessments about them. By continuously returning your focus to the breath and organizing disorganized thoughts, you learn to see emotions as fleeting waves rather than being overly attached to them and going down rabbit holes caused by them. Negative emotions are not viewed as unchangeable truths or identities, but rather as transient biological processes. This lets go of their hold on you. The less you feed them unconsciously, the less intense they become. Regular meditation also helps one become more conscious of the patterns and triggers that lead to emotional response. You start to have the ability to deliberately choose intelligent replies instead of merely responding instinctively. There is a gap between the stimulus and the reaction. Additionally, cultivating thankfulness for all the beauty and benefits that coexist with suffering or unhappiness is another benefit of connecting to present moment awareness. Your inner brightness increases. Negative feelings can be transformed via meditation into chances for interest, introspection, insight, and a radical acceptance of the whole range of experience. Your ability to tolerate discomfort increases with time. You rely less on external situations for inner peace. Regular practice allows you to always choose to either take a step back and soften into loving presence or to obsess in anger. Wherever you focus is where power is found getting back to your inner home. Calms the storms both inside and outside of you. Your mental state is no longer dictated by your emotions. Lesson 11. Create journal of time. Maintaining a daily notebook detailing your activities and accomplishments can have a profound impact on your sense of purpose, productivity, and self-awareness. Spend at least 15 minutes every night recording the events, assignments, conversations, and small moments from your day. Jot down your observations on what worked, what didn't, the difficulties you encountered, the lessons you discovered, and your feelings. Be truthful and specific. Note your leisure activities and hobbies in addition to your job and obligations. Keeping a journal might help you track how much time is spent on worthwhile activities against distractions like TV or social media. You'll also learn how stress, exercise, nutrition, and other factors affect moods, behaviors, and energy levels. You could notice recurring ineffective behaviors related to time management or procrastination, or acknowledge that some interactions or pursuits always make you feel better after that. You can make adjustments and create targets. You may, for instance, impose a daily cap on your usage of low-value screens. Alternately, resolve to finish the passion project you've been putting off. Keeping a journal of your previous days helps you be accountable when you make progress and cross off goals. It feels better than merely having fleeting thoughts. By serving as a reminder of memorable occasions you might have forgotten, a notebook can also help you feel grateful. More memories are encoded by regular writing than by digital tracking tools. If you are consistent, keeping a journal will become a beloved routine. Knowing exactly how you spend your limited time helps you to be much more deliberate in the future. You get inspired to savor every moment of every day. Setting the future first requires examining the past with interest rather than condemnation. Keeping a time journal helps you stay focused and gives you perspective. It is quite helpful to keep a diary to record your daily activities and how you spend your time, but it can be difficult to find the motivation to write in it every day. By adhering to some recommended procedures, journalist can be made simpler and more reliable. Select a journaling app on your phone, a computer document, or a paper journal, depending on what format and location work best for you. Whatever makes frequent fast entry is possible. At the end of each day, set aside at least 10 to 15 minutes just for journal writing. Think of this time for thought as any other significant commitment integrated into your current practice, such as journaling right before bed. Don't merely copy and paste your to-do list or timetable when writing posts. Examine in detail your feelings, thoughts, interactions, difficulties, and victories. Consider asking yourself, what did I learn today? For what do I feel thankful? What went wrong, and how can I do better? Examine the meanings, patterns, and insights. Allow your thoughts to roam and your hands to move freely without any guilt as you write. Resist the impulse to modify. Store your journal in a safe place if you are concerned about privacy. See how far you've come by looking back at previous journal entries from time to time. To stay motivated, reread passages. If you require clarification, use abbreviations, bullet points, and shorthand to make journaling more efficient, but don't sacrifice meaningful details. Date each entry so that, should the need arise, moments can be arranged chronologically. Consider the time you spend being productive and unproductive. Keep track of your objectives, failures, important talks, emotional breakthroughs every day. Routines and More tailor your entries to reflect the most important things at the moment. Writing down experiences and insights leaves far stronger impression than just thinking about them. Consider the time you spend journaling as a daily self-care routine that requires your whole attention and focus. If you can boost engagement, write by hand. Try typing in a free-form stream of in a free-form stream of style. When typing, the only incorrect strategy is to write haphazardly or miss days. When journaling is done consistently and honestly, it is effective. Learn how to design a life well lived. As time goes on, you become more aware of how you utilize your time, which is the most valuable resource you have. When you put all of your daily activities, thoughts, and feelings down on paper, when you keep a regular notebook, you can identify patterns of time wastage and bad habits. This knowledge therefore gives you the ability to cut out everything that isn't beneficial to your development and to focus more intently on doing things that are consistent with your beliefs. You get clearer about how to move forward with greater intention. Examining your time log also helps you maintain focus on your long-term objectives and priorities, as opposed to letting your well-intentioned intentions get lost in life's daily grind. It is evident when too much time is spent on achieving instant gratification rather than leaving a lasting legacy. When there is a thorough record, you hold yourself responsible to the man those journal pages depict. You growing into writing about happy times and great conversations helps you stay grateful. Resilience and lessons can be learned through documenting obstacles and failures. Writing down ideas, feelings, and experiences helps you feel in charge of your inner world by encoding them deeply in memory. By consistently going back to your purpose through journaling, you develop the self-mastery required to become a man who is values-driven and focused at the end of the day. Taking the effort to write down your days consistently results in a deep sense of self-awareness. A time journal encourages creativity and candid reflection while also offering discipline and drive. Establish journaling as a ritual and you'll find that it brings clarity to all aspects of your life. You can deliberately shape your fate by deliberately constructing your time. Lesson 12. Never give up. Reaching your highest aspirations and objectives is never an easy journey. You will unavoidably run against obstacles, difficulties, and tests that will try your resolve and dedication. It can be easy to give up, give in to fear and doubt, and give up on your vision when times are hard, but the most successful people in any field know that what sets winners apart from losers is tenacity and unwavering determination. In pursuing their goals, refuse to accept anything less than your greatest abilities. Allow a brief setback to stoke your desire for a final triumph. Remain calm and maintain the right mindset. Significant advancements come gradually over extended periods of time rather than suddenly. To maintain your endurance over time, nourish your mind, body, and spirit on a daily basis. Learn how to overcome disappointment with a positive attitude and a resilient spirit. Your innermost why, the primary motivation or calling that propels you out of bed every morning, can provide you with courage and inspiration. You will make progress toward your greatest vision and succeed beyond your wildest expectations if you stay dedicated to it and keep moving forward with fearless daily action. But the first step in everything is a straightforward but crucial choice that you have to make time and time again. Never give up. Many people lose up on their objectives and dreams much too soon due to a lack of confidence in themselves and their talents. You won't Put in the persistent work and constant effort necessary to succeed. If you don't believe that you can achieve big things, allowing uneasiness, worry, and self-doubt to rule your thoughts will only make them fade away. In a similar vein, lacking a strong enough why or rationale for your vision will sap your desire to persevere in the face of difficulty. Resilient effort is fueled by a strong sense of purpose and passion. Additionally, many people give up too soon because they place too much emphasis on getting praise from others rather than turning inward. Fragility results from the need for validation from others for one's achievements. In order to feel worthy, keep your sense of self-worth independent of other influences. Furthermore, people who quit up are afflicted with a lack of discipline. You will veer off course if you lack organization, are unable to concentrate, and are always coming up with stories. It's essential to build organizational, time management, and personal accountability abilities. Additionally, people give up when things get muddy or nonlinear because they have strict expectations about how the path should look and unfold. Accept adaptability and course corrections. Poor resilience in the face of setbacks or defeats is also troublesome. Recovering from occasional setbacks is essential. Do not allow a single setback to permanently derail you. Remain optimistic and never give up hope. Last but not least, attempting to go it alone and failing to ask for assistance or common community support along the way can greatly depress people along the journey. We all need pick-me-ups and new motivation. Remain committed to realizing your greatest ambitions by minimizing the things that impede your success. To develop an unstoppable mindset from the inside out, you must never give up on your ambitions at all. Begins with having complete confidence in who you are and what you are capable of. Put your inner strength and intelligence to use by tuning out the critics. Encourage this self-belief every day by visualizing your dreams coming true and treating them as real. Envision yourself achieving them in vivid detail to help you focus and stay on course. Write down your goals and go back and read them frequently. Create strong, conviction-filled personal power statements that you can recite whenever you sense uncertainty entering your mind. Avoid being around people who bring you down. Instead, surround yourself with people who inspire you and support your goals. Be your best advocate for yourself. Get crystal clear about your why as well. The underlying drive and purpose that wakes you up in the morning. Rekindle your inner fire by connecting to this deep why when things get tough. Furthermore, maintain your optimism and tenacity in the face of obstacles. Reframe obstacles as opportunities for progress rather than as failures. Instead of being inflexibly committed to how your idea must come to pass, be adaptable, adjust, and reroute as necessary. What counts most is your dedication to the final result. Make time for healthy eating, rest, and self-care as well if you want to maintain your physical, mental, and emotional resilience. Drive is destroyed by burnout. Strike a balance between recuperation and concentrated exertion. Lastly, never lose sight of the fact that anything worthwhile requires patience and unwavering dedication. To become great, one must amass tiny victories over time. Deny the illusion of success in a single day. Give the procedure as much time as it needs. You will unavoidably become one of those people who never gave up on realizing their greatest ambitions if you continuously act with passion and heart. Others who are struggling or feeling disheartened can be greatly inspired by exhibiting perseverance in the face of difficulties and by refusing to give up on goals and dreams even when things become challenging, people get more motivated and are inspired by what they see when they witness someone overcome adversity, endure criticism, overcome failures, and persevere day after day in the pursuit of a lofty objective. The individual that chases their vision without giving up and doesn't take no for an answer represents the best aspect of the human spirit. They are strong, resilient, and capable of overcoming any obstacle with enough concentrated effort. Respect is owed to them for their unwavering pursuit of greatness and refusal to accept anything less than their finest effort. Further, more their attitude of optimism and hopefulness in the face of delayed or stagnant progress inspires others who find themselves in similar situations to embrace a more empowered outlook rather than giving in to despair. The person who perseveres and doesn't give up at the first hint of doubt serves as a reminder that great accomplishments are rarely reached easily or linearly. Their example promotes having a long-term perspective and working consistently over time to achieve significant goals. Moreover, their capacity to absorb lessons from errors and criticism without losing hope shows humility and the understanding that failure is a necessary part of development. Others are motivated by this to keep trying even after falling and get back up. Most importantly, their willingness to take risks and perseverance in the face of discomfort motivate others to realize their own untapped potential. The feeling of if they can do it, then so can I is sparked by them, and it opens doors. Untapped bravery and potential. Thus the human race as a whole is lifted in its unwavering dedication to attaining human potential when high aims are not given up on easily. There are a few crucial things you can do to offer assistance if someone you care about is experiencing emotions of desperation and wants to give up on their objectives. First, give yourself permission to listen intently without passing judgment or trying to give immediate counsel. To help children feel heard and understood, provide a safe area where they may express their problems and concerns. Sayings like "it makes complete sense you would feel this way given what you're going through" can help to validate their feelings. Ask insightful questions to fully grasp the situation and demonstrate your concern by reflecting back what you hear. Allow them to process the situation at their own pace and exercise patience. Encourage them by pointing out that even though they aren't able to see it now, they are strong and have the capacity to overcome adversity. Give instances from their past where they showed inner resourcefulness and tenacity. Don't, however, try to make them feel better or downplay their suffering, rather than only giving them blind encouragement. The intention is to lend a sympathetic ear and reaffirm their ability to succeed. You can gently encourage them to address problems by asking, what small actions can you take right now to improve things even slightly? Once they feel truly listened to, make the recommendation that they prioritize self-care and consider speaking with a licensed counselor for further in-depth advice. Encourage them to monitor even small victories so they may begin to feel more in control again, but be aware that what could matter most is consistent, unwavering support to ensure they don't feel alone. Check in frequently. Remind them of their worth as a person, distinct from their current achievement when they most needed your unwavering faith in their capacity to overcome this difficult period, and your reluctance to allow them give up on themselves can make all the difference in reviving their most motivation and optimism. Even when you can't immediately resolve the issue, your friendship and affirmation of their inner power will Provide them a lot of support. Lesson 13. Help yourself first. Before you can effectively help others, you must first take responsibility for helping yourself. This means prioritizing your own health, growth, and fulfillment. While it's admirable to help others, you must take care of yourself first in order to have the inner strength to support others successfully. Helping others frequently comes from unconscious need to be wanted or appreciated, to divert attention from one's own problems or to boost one's self-esteem. Nevertheless, without first building a strong, healthy foundation inside themselves, no one can raise others in a sustainable way. Self-care is not selfish, rather it is essential. Weariness and resentment are fostered when you deplete yourself by ignoring your needs to immediately fix others. An empty cup cannot be used to pour from. Being the best version of yourself for other people requires doing the inner work necessary to get over your shortcomings, limiting beliefs, and unhealed emotional scars. If you haven't dealt with your own trauma, how can you help someone else through theirs? Nothing can make up for what it lacks. Turning inward fosters self-awareness, insight, and understanding. After overcoming your own challenges, you are better able to empathize to others' hardships and comprehend human psychology. You can act from a position of real compassion instead of unconscious impulses like guilt, shame, or unfulfilled ego demands when you do your own healing work in spiritual development. Setting appropriate limits and developing the ability to say no also helps you avoid burnout and energy depletion, which can hinder your ability to give your all to people who depend on you. Make time for yourself and accept your needs without shame. If your inner light is dimmed, you cannot make the world brighter. Developing your spiritual, emotional, physical, and mental well-being gives you greater insight, steadiness, and vitality to give freely to others. Put your personal health first, since you can't offer your best self without it. Recognize that external behaviors never define your worth. First and foremost, tend to your inner serenity, self-love, and sense of purpose in life. The most valuable gift you can give the world is the empowered person you become. It's easy to neglect your own needs while continually trying to assist others, but this breeds resentment and burnout. You cannot pour from an empty vessel. Make self-care an ongoing practice, not a luxury. Give yourself permission to focus inward. Assess your emotional state often and course correct. Release guilt about being selfish. True selflessness requires you to show up as your best self. Do the inner work needed to heal your past traumas so you don't project emotional baggage onto current relationships. Set healthy boundaries around how and when you give of yourself based on your energy levels. Learn when to say no without apologizing. Take full ownership of your goals, progress, and results rather than waiting for others to swoop in. Proactively solve your own problems and achieve your own dreams through disciplined self-management. The more you take responsibility for your whole life, the less you'll unconsciously rely on others for validation, direction, and rescue. Prioritize developing self-awareness, emotional intelligence, and inner security. You will have a greater capacity to enrich others' lives. Value your needs equally to those you support. Make your mental peace and empowerment the foundation from which you give, not an afterthought. Be wary of martyr syndrome or savior complexes. The ego's need to fix others often backfires. Focus on walking your own path. First, lead by example and taking full accountability for your evolution. The greatest thing you can do for the world is realize your own potential. As you strengthen your core, you will uplift others organically, but it all starts with helping yourself. The more whole you become, the greater your presence and positive impact. Your life is the gift. Choosing to accept complete responsibility for your life is the first and most important step towards helping in yourself. All of your thoughts, deeds, and outcomes are the product of your decisions. You remain in victim mode when you place the blame on other forces. Make a commitment to stop making excuses and to take charge of your own growth. Real change starts with this proactive approach and self accountability. Clearly define your main principles, interests, and objectives. Having a clear understanding of your goals and the things that are most important to you establishes a North Star for your personal development. Consider often where your energy is going and how you are using it. Does it fit your reality? Own your idea of the life you want. Knowing what brings you joy and fulfillment allows you to focus all of your actions on becoming your best self. Prioritize, not indulge. Taking care of your entire self, including your mind, body, emotions, and spirit. Consume wholesome foods, exercise frequently, get enough sleep, and set an example of good behavior in order to nourish your mind. Keep learning new things and push your intellectual limits. Engage in things that bring you happiness, inspiration, and calmness to nourish your emotions, to feel a sense of purpose. Nourish your spirit with activities like journaling, meditation, or time spent in nature. Include self-care in your daily routine. Give your emotional scars, traumatic experiences from the past, harmful patterns, or limiting beliefs some time to heal. Recognize your inner barriers to advancement and be brutally honest with yourself about them. Seek expert assistance when unpacking your luggage. If necessary, you may design the life you really desire. When you let go of the anguish of the past, become allies with your shadow side. Recognize and develop your natural abilities, prowess, and gifts. Everybody has unique talents that are just waiting to be realized. To unleash your hidden potential, take on new challenges. Gaining proficiency develops confidence. Show off your special abilities to the world. Self-growth happens when you are in alignment with your true purpose. Eliminate negative connections and practices that sap your light. Refuse to accept toxicity or mediocrity. Eliminate energy wasters to elevate your standards. Allow opportunities and people who inspire you to reach your full potential. Remaining in your comfort zones will only impede your advancement. Be in the company of creative people. Decide to live up to your own standards rather than those set by others. Give up requiring affirmation or consent. Develop inner confidence to follow your own path rather than that of the masses. Fulfillment arises when you choose your own path based on spiritual understanding rather than shoulds. Assist yourself by deliberately managing your own development. Your own expectations are the only ones that count. Lesson 14. Life for your own happiness. Society frequently instills in us the belief that prioritizing our own happiness and pleasure makes us selfish, but the reality is that leading a fulfilling life requires accepting personal responsibility for your happiness. Your inner peace and well-being must originate from within. No one else can or should. Give yourself permission to pursue the things that really ignite your soul. Explore your individual talents, hobbies, and aspirations without regard to the interests or expectations of others. Instead, then focusing on set routines. Build your lifestyle on your actual Priorities. It is better to trust your inner guidance and instincts than to follow the crowd. Take an honest look at your days and ask yourself, are you wasting time on things that make you feel worse rather than better? Accept that it is up to you to make the changes necessary to fulfill your purpose. Accept self-care with no shame. Your well-being and stamina will pave the way for you to contribute to the world. Refuse to seek external validation and people please. Your achievements and level of production don't determine your value as a person. You are important just the way you are. Give expression to your true needs and emotions, even if they are counterintuitive. Establish limits without regretting them. Relish connections that need you to dim your brightness. Reserve your space for those who honor your complete independent self instead of letting fear hold you back. Bravely forge your own path and reach your full potential. Utilize your freedom to lead an independent life. Stop waiting for approval before moving fearlessly toward your goals. Honor the gift that is your life by taking full responsibility for the conscious plan of your days and the alignment of your actions with your inner truth. Reevaluate and change direction if it doesn't make you feel better. At the end of the day, your joy and self-realization are your duties alone. The only thing separating you from your fulfillment is your desire to choose what inspires you without hesitation. No one else will make you happy. You are fulfilled. You must put your own happiness and fulfillment first. Everybody has only one life to live, which is a transitory gift that should be treasured by reaching our greatest potential. In order to do this, you must take personal responsibility for creating a lifestyle that is in line with your inner truth and highest self, rather than conditioning yourself to believe in sacrifice or conformity. Making your happiness a priority is not selfish, rather it is essential. If your spirit is empty and are exhausted, how can you elevate the world? Soul nurturing cures disorder. You shine from the inside out and are able to pour into others from a position of honesty rather than inner anguish. When you honor your own needs and desires over time, your wholeness is diminished. When you block out portions of yourself, resentment and anxiety are produced when you attempt to fulfill the expectations of others at the expense of your own goals. Your life's worth will be determined by how completely you lived, not by how flawlessly you served others. Living up to your own standards, developing inner confidence to make everyday decisions that honor you, and taking ownership of creating a life that fulfills you are so crucial. Nobody else is familiar with the complex inner environment that is your mind and spirit. It is up to you to decide how you want to go through this human adventure. As a result, you need to gently lead yourself through it rather than giving your authority to outside validation. Choose on your terms development and contribution from a place of love. You gain unwavering stability when your actions are consistent with your truth. Make your health the unassailable first priority so that you can intentionally create the reality you want. Your mission is to fearlessly bring the whole, vivid, real you into the world. You alone are capable of doing this very intimate work. Put your happiness first with integrity by daring to follow your deepest calling, which is to be all that you are. Your entire presence is the best gift you can give the world, understanding that no one else can provide you with long-lasting happiness, that it must come from within, is the first step toward achieving it. Get crystal clear about your main principles, interests, and objectives. First, you may make decisions that are in line with your truth when you are self-aware of what truly matters to you. and makes you excited plan your life, with the purpose of devoting time to positive pursuits that uplift rather than deplete you to nurture your entire being. Schedule regular self-care activities like exercise, meditation, journaling, or time spent in nature. Establish strict limitations for your time and effort. Acquire the skill of politely declining anything that is false or unsatisfying. Give up trying to please people and get approval from them. You are inherently valuable to appreciate the totality of your life as it is happening right now, rather than only when goals are accomplished. Practice present and thankfulness. Engage the world with your abilities and gifts by producing meaningful work. However, avoid letting activity stifle moments of wonder and happiness. Honor your feelings and speak out for what you need. Continue learning and developing your intellect as a means of pursuing personal improvement through spiritual activities. Let go of restrictive ideas. Only be in the company of people who embrace your complete, powerful self. Cut ties with people who make you feel small. Own the freedom to lead a full life according to your own terms. Incorporate your imagination into all that you do. Give everyday routines a creative, imaginative, and musical twist. Give your soul a break and rejuvenate frequently by engaging in creative pursuits. Lightheartedness and laughter are therapeutic. Eat healthy foods. Get plenty of rest. Move your body often and provide an example of self-honoring behavior. What you don't initially nurture within yourself, you can't give to others. Prioritize your health in order to consciously create the best possible life for yourself. Regularly pay attention to your intuition as well as your logical intellect. What's best for you is already known by your inner wisdom. Put more faith in your gut feelings. This gives you more self-assurance to make decisions that will delight you. Recall that no one else has the same complex spiritual terrain as you. You are the only one who can lead yourself on this human adventure. Reclaim your authority. Embrace happiness as a way of life rather than an end goal. Over time, bravely bringing your true self to life will bring you fulfillment. It is entirely your job to make sure you cherish this priceless gift. You can lose your ability to bring long-lasting happiness and contentment into your life by falling into a few typical mistakes. One of the most important ones is putting other people's wants and expectations ahead of your own. It depletes your energy and self-worth to strive for impossibly high perfection. Reclaim your authority by living according to your own terms. Turn off comparison, judgment, and the need for outside affirmation. A person's value is not determined by their accomplishments or popularity. Give yourself permission to pursue the things that really ignite your soul. In a similar vein, stagnating and unfulfilling circumstances out of a fear of change stunts your personal development. Gather the bravery to make the necessary changes that are in line with your well-being. Discomfort is a necessary part of development and healing. Furthermore, magic and inspiration are blocked when inner wisdom and intuition are disregarded in favor of a rational way of living. Make choices that are consistent with your entire being. Avoid becoming so consumed with long-term objectives that you lose sight of the richness of the present. Gratitude and being present nourish the soul. Furthermore, joy is prohibited when one is overly occupied to the point of perpetual tiredness. Life is drained of originality. By it, establish limits and get comfortable saying no. Appreciate quiet time and relaxation. Human needs are just as important as output, and to cling to certain notions of how things should be is to suffer, release the attachment, and inflexibility, embrace the transience of existence. Consider if the things you are doing with your time are driven more by obligation than by fulfillment. Make the appropriate adjustments. Last but not least, holding down your true feelings and truths erodes your spirit over time. Permit yourself to experience everything, even the most negative feelings can serve as a teacher and a doorway to liberation. Continue your efforts to respect you, living in accordance with your deepest wisdom will determine your level of happiness. Do not deceive yourself. Although difficulties in life are unavoidable, you can develop resilience and perspective to keep issues from stealing your happiness and inner serenity. The secret is to understand that happiness is an inside endeavor, and that your pleasure is not solely determined by outside factors. Prioritize your own well-being to ensure that you have the stamina to endure life's challenges, to help you anchor yourself in the richness of life right now, rather than tying your happiness to the results of the future. Practice mindfulness, gratitude, journaling, and living in the present. Frequently use your basic values as a reference point in the event that issues emerge. Keeping your mission and top priorities in mind will help you decide where to direct your energy. Reframe failures as opportunities for personal development that strengthen character and intelligence. Have faith that you can conquer any obstacle given enough time. See challenges as a chance to get inventive and create new routes that are in line with your goals. Stay adaptable and willing to veer off course if necessary. Avoid associating your value with particular outcomes. You are so much more than what you have accomplished. Let go of your need for certainty and control, because most of life's beauty happens in unpredictable ways. Embrace the inevitable ups and downs of life. Everything happens in due course. Don't see short-term setbacks as definitive failures. Create a support system of upbeat people to avoid feeling alone during difficult times. Ask for assistance without feeling guilty. Unconditional self-acceptance and compassion practices guarantee that your inner light remains bright no matter what happens outside of you. Keep your attention on the marvels and blessings that are happening right now. In addition to any issues, remain focused on your long-term goals and objectives. Regularly nourish your optimism, hope, and self-belief. You can have inner peace and joy even in the face of external failures, as long as your activities are in line with truth and purpose to prevent being uprooted by storms. Strengthen your roots if you take care of your inner foundations. Your happiness is not brittle. You continue to be in charge of your happiness. Final lesson: 14 ways to become high value human. And so this voyage of transformation comes to a conclusion. You now have a firm grasp on what it takes to develop into a human who is truly valuable to both the world and yourself. You are aware of the significance of getting up early, pursuing your passions, changing your perspective, and accepting full responsibility for your life. These 14 teachings have given you the means to reach your full potential. Never forget the ultimate objective: being the most powerful, well-rounded version of yourself. Consider this a lifetime project. You don't just show up and stop. There are new prospects for self-actualization and self-improvement every day. The advantages of this route are tremendous, but it does demand guts and devotion. Living up to your core principles as a high-value human will bring you great fulfillment. You'll be an inspiration to others, and your relationships will grow. Always maintain Your attention on your goal. Evaluate these 14 methods on a regular basis to realign. The map is now in your hands. You get to design your own life. I'm sending you my warmest wishes. For the path ahead, remain strong. Have faith in yourself and keep moving forward. High-value men who strive to improve themselves every day are what the world needs. Become the man to take the lead. This is your moment. Thank you for taking me on this journey with you. This is Dark Psychology World Channel. Thanks for watching. Don't forget, subscribe, like, and share.